right, we're live in the car for a second time. The first time you're going to see this. I'm Fred Katz. This is Tom Westerholm. We have a special guest directly behind me who's hidden. Brian Robb's here too.
What's up?
We're currently driving to Celtics practice in Las Vegas. Tom and I were staying at the same hotel.
Yep.
You can hear the navigation there. We just picked up B-Rob. So we tried to do this yesterday. We thought it went disastrously. Turns out it was like if you added, have you ever seen that George Clooney movie, The Perfect Storm? It was like if you added a fourth storm to that situation. Not only did Tom curse, just live right there for everybody to see, we missed the turn. Then we missed.
No, I made the turn. I cursed because I thought I was going to miss it.
Right. Yeah. But then we missed so many turns that the GPS got completely turned around and we got lost because the Celtics have to practice like 30 minutes outside of where we're staying in Las Vegas because there are so many teams here. And then the phone got such low battery that we had to plug it in, and we figured that's fine. Plug it in, we'll get a little charge in there, we'll be good.
Yep.
And then when we plugged in the phone, everything was muted after that, so we had to delete the whole post from
And that was like
page.
4 minutes in, so it wasn't even like there was any actual good stuff. It was just, 4 minutes and then like 16 minutes of silence. So
there was nothing. It was a disaster. We didn't get any of B-Rob's hot takes at the end. Like that.
Flaming hot takes.
B-Rob said you couldn't hear him because it was muted, but he said that Jabari Bird is going to start for the Celtics this year.
He compared Jabari Bird to Michael Jordan.
Yeah. So we're going to repeat some stuff.
That was off the record, guys. Off the record. Come on.
So we're gonna repeat some stuff from yesterday, but luckily for you, you probably didn't see any of the stuff from yesterday, and if you saw it,
didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it. So we're gonna hope this is working right now. We're gonna hope we don't get lost. We'll give you a nice view of the right on the strip right now. What hotel is that? What is that?
Is the Bellagio?
That's the Bellagio we are looking at right now. So we're in the heart of Las Vegas right now, driving to the heart of, I believe the technical term is the middle of nowhere, to go to a high school to see the Celtics Summer League practice. The Celtics will play in Summer League on Thursday.
Yes.
In the Summer League. Are we calling it the playoffs? Are we calling it the tournament?
I like the tournament. The tournament makes it sound a little less formal because it's like the least formal thing on earth.
I like the playoffs because it makes it sound so formal. Makes it sound so much more formal than it needs to be. And if we call it the playoffs, then we can call the 3 games preceding the regular season. And to me, that's just priceless. Do you know where we're turning right now?
I do.
Okay, great. We got it. We might not get lost this time since we did this same drive yesterday. So Celtics play tomorrow, 4:30 Eastern time, against the Summer Knicks. I promise I will make at least 17 Mitchell Robinson references during this. What is it? What is it?
U-turn live.
U-turn live is what we decided we're going to call this because we got turned around so much doing it yesterday because we got distracted. What's our first topic?
All right, so we touched on this yesterday again, but I think it's worth revisiting. Fred, now 2 days ago, you broke some news about Robert Williams' artery condition in his legs, and PAES. I can't remember. It's like popliteal something.
Popliteal.
Was popliteal the right word?
Yes.
Oh wow.
It's popliteal artery entrapment syndrome.
And yeah, I mean, you talked to some people. You talked to I think what people want to know is whether the Celtics knew about it, how serious it is, and kind of where Robert Williams goes from here, and kind of how it affects him going forward.
Yeah, how serious it is kind of, well, I guess I'll explain it first. It's basically just when the muscles and the tendons, it tends to happen in like young athletes, guys in their 20s who are athletes. Robert Williams obviously fits that description, and it's when like the muscles and tendons in and around your knees squeeze on the popliteal artery, which is the main artery that's around your knee, and it squeezes on it more than usual, so it kind of compresses the artery, and because of that it restricts blood flow to the lower leg, and it ends up because when you're cramping, it's because you're not necessarily getting enough blood flow to your lower legs, and it can lead to some numbness in your lower legs. It can lead to cramping, especially in your calves, and that's something that Williams has been dealing with for a while. I think he told Adam Himmelsbach, who followed up on our report yesterday, because he did a job that really we should have thought of to do and didn't.
100%.
But Himmelsbach followed up, and he told Himmelsbach, we reported that he's been dealing it for years. He said to Himmelsbach that he had it for both years when he was at Texas A&M, and Texas A&M was aware of it.
Yep.
Not only were the Celtics aware of it, any team that saw his medicals were aware of it. Teams were asking him about it when he spoke to them and that kind of stuff, and they were aware of the medicals. That was a thing. From talking to people, I haven't quite gotten the impression that was the main reason why he slipped. I know a lot of people have taken that report and said, okay, well now he slipped to 27. Makes a lot of sense. And he slipped, I still think it's the stuff earlier, the questions about motivation.
Yep.
That being said, I spoke to like a couple of talent evaluators of each other, mentioned to me like, something that we discussed was, is it fully motivational stuff, or like a couple minutes into the game, is his leg just cramping up?
Right.
And that's why he's just not running as hard as it looks like. Is he just getting pins and needles in his legs? So that's something the Celtics know about. The Celtics have done their own medicals on him. They were fully aware of it when they drafted him. The whole league was, for the most part, just because it was kind of a secret from the public. It wasn't from the rest of the NBA, and it wasn't from Texas A&M.
Right.
The Celtics were not caught by surprise in this report by any means. It's something that they're just going to consistently monitor.
Just obviously the like you mentioned, it wasn't just this condition that made him fall. I don't even know. I mean, it might not even be like just that from like a health standpoint. He's had this tendonitis that has been bothering him. You have covered guys where tendonitis actually became like a really serious problem down the road in Oklahoma City. So like there were a few different issues obviously there, and obviously the motivation thing too. I do think it's a really interesting concept that might have been at least part of the reason why maybe he didn't go as hard as people were hoping. We can't really know, but I think that's definitely something interesting to consider.
Yeah, it's like scouting is such it's such an inexact science.
It is.
I was talking about this with Sam Vicini yesterday, and like scouting is such an inexact science that like all you can really do is see the information that's in front of you and take guesses as to how to apply it. And it's like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like that's a thing that makes sense. I don't know if it's true or not.
Right.
But the fact that if a guy has pain in his legs and he's not always running as hard, it would make sense that he's not always running as hard because he's got pain in his legs. That's an intuitive thing.
Definitely. So I think I think we talked a little bit about it yesterday. I think it's worth talking again today a little bit about just kind of, we've seen 6 minutes of him, so we don't really know anything. But he looked intriguing in those 6 minutes. I mean, he is actually athletic, like everybody thought he was. He does actually have long arms, like everybody thought he did. I don't think we're going to see him for the rest of Summer League. I think the Celtics are probably going to shut him down. That's just like a guess based off, logic, which is that if a guy has tendonitis and he's actually, it seems to be actually really bothering him, then there's absolutely no point in playing him in Summer League.
This is impressive. You're merging onto a highway right now. While Robert Williams injury talking.
Yeah. But yeah, so I just think that there's no point in like taking any kind of a risk, and playing on tendonitis is just enough of a risk that I don't know that it's worth like Summer League games. That being said, how fun would it be? The Celtics play the Knicks at 1:30 in the first round of the Summer League playoffs. How fun would it be to get the Mitchell Robinson, Robert Williams showdown in the front court?
Is Mitchell Robinson fun?
Yes.
I wasn't aware of it. I haven't seen him play.
It's really funny watching everybody get like super in on Mitchell Robinson, because I was in on Mitchell Robinson before the draft, and I was told by everybody, oh no, he's he's a head case, he's whatever, and I was just like, okay, but he's pretty fun, and now everybody's like, oh,
he's so fun. Yeah, that would be great to see them. The Summer League Knicks have the most fun Summer League team.
I think it's hands down.
Like the Hawks are really fun.
So I hear,
but now that John Collins isn't playing.
Funny thing about the Hawks is yesterday I tweeted, this Hawks Summer League team is kind of fun, and I had so many Hawks fans in my mentions being like, have you been watching? You can't have been watching. I hate this team. And I was just like, it was the first time I've ever tweeted just something like blandly complimentary of a team, and had just an entire fan base just up.
We reconnected.
Hey.
Okay, we're only We're only on for like 5 minutes. I don't know what that's gonna look like.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's gonna look like when this goes up on delay. I guess
We'll find out.
fast forward to 10:42 and try to find out what the deal is.
Anyway,
We
so
want to hit reconnect.
all right.
We're fucking powering through no matter what.
Hopefully that.
Oh,
Hopefully that didn't go through.
I hope that didn't go on. I hope that didn't go on. All right, we're on again.
Yo.
As I said so colorfully just now, we're gonna power through this. We're gonna do this. It doesn't matter if we lose service every few seconds. We're getting through this. Yeah, Ntilikina didn't play in their last game, but Knox is literally the best performer at Summer League.
Yeah.
He's been ridiculous, and I know you don't want to overreact to Summer League too much, but like I'm gonna react. Like that looks like a really good pick.
Yeah, that looks like a great pick.
I feel comfortable saying that looks like a really good pick.
I mean, you know, obviously you didn't want to overreact to Tatum last year, and not that we're just like automatically calling him Tatum, but like he's got some of those elements where it's like, you know, like a long, rangy guy who didn't necessarily show everything that he can do in college, you know, and now he comes to the pros and right away, like his stroke great, his, you know, he just looks very comfortable on the floor, and then, you know, Knicks fans are already dropping the Celtics fans' favorite line, which was he's only, I think he's only 18 still. He might be 19, but he's right in that range. He's crazy young. So there's some shades of it there at least, and obviously it's Summer League, but he looked.
You don't want to overreact to like stat lines and something.
Right.
You don't want to overreact to made bounce and like that a dude got a lot of rebounds or something. But everything Knox is doing, like the way he's getting his points,
Yeah.
looks totally real. Like these threes that he's hitting that are totally in rhythm and totally natural. I mean, they don't have a point guard, so maybe he will struggle to get those at times, but if and when they eventually get a point guard, however they do it, hopefully people can have enough faith in the Knicks to get like a league average point guard by the time he's like 22.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be able to get those shots in a normal NBA game. The way he gets out in transition and finishes there, he'll be able to do that. Like, these are all things he's gonna be able to do. So like he's gonna be good. What do you think of Jabari Bird so far? I know we talked about him on you know, a previous live we did.
Yeah. No, I mean,
what do you make of what he's done?
He looks fantastic. I think it's really interesting. Just first the really good stuff. He's an unbelievable cutter. He's got a great IQ. You know, for that, as you know, when to make his move, when to just kind of, you know, jerk the offense toward the basket. And you know, that looks great. Obviously, he's just a freak athlete. When he just gets up in the air and he just kind of hovers there, it's really cool to see because he just waits for a defender to go down while he just kind of stays there, and that works out really well for him, obviously. It was interesting to hear Jay Larinaga talk about his shooting. Larinaga really, you know, called him a terrific shooter. You know, talked about how he's a worker. He shot 37% in college, so he was like a good college three-point shooter. Only 32% last year in the G League. So he has, you know, there were some adjustments at the very least. But you know, if he starts shooting really well, he showed some flashes in the pick and roll. You know, as a ball handler, getting to the basket off the bounce. You know, he showed some of that stuff. And again, it's all Summer League, but he, you know, if he can start hitting threes, he's going to be really tough to keep off the floor because that's going to open up everything else in his game so well. So I've been really impressed by him, and I think that, you know, at this point he has to be pretty close to you know, a guaranteed roster spot. Like I think he's right there.
All right, B-Rob, it's your time to shine. This is your moment. Give me some takes.
Hot take? No, I mean I'm on the Jabari Bird train as well. I think he's just, you know, even going back to last postseason and the end of last season, he was someone who was a good contributor in those games when they could have used with such shallow bench with all the injuries. And now this year, you know, the Celtics have an option on Nader's contract. I think that's due at the end of the month. It's only partially guaranteed. I think Bird definitely has an edge over him right now, and he just makes more sense for the roster. He's shown he can do more at the NBA level. He's kind of proven it in this Summer League right now as far as consistency goes. So, yeah, I don't think the Celtics want to lose him. I think he is. I'd be shocked he's not on the 15-man roster in October.
Get spicier. Yeah, come on, spicy.
And he's also, I mean, he flies around like Michael Jordan a little bit at times. I think, you know, the hang time, like, it's pretty impressive.
We're just waiting for him to switch hands in midair because he's got
to work on it a little bit, but it's nice.
He's good. He's good. You know the thing with him, like he has to just shoot.
Yes.
Like attempts. Like he talked about cutting himself out of threes. Like he's got to put up threes in order to really be successful, because you can't be an overall successful offensive player in the NBA and like crack a rotation if you're a 2 who doesn't even take threes. You just
and especially when you're a guy like him who's like maybe a guy who a team drafted really high and wants to develop and really, you know, then maybe you get, you know, like a real crack in rotation. But a guy like him where he was like, you know, I think it was the 57th pick or something like that. Like he has to wow you to, you know, to, and then, you know,
and the thing is, he's not going to be ball dominant.
Right.
So, you know, if you have a Ben Simmons type who is so talented at everything other than shooting threes that it pushes him over the edge and turns him into a very good player, even though he doesn't take threes, and B, he's going to handle the ball and run your offense.
Right.
That's okay, because guys aren't going to be helping off of you when you're the one with the ball. Jabari Bird, when he's in the corner, he's not going to catch as many dudes falling asleep in the NBA as he does in Summer League and the G League. Like that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So it can be effective. It's a great tool.
Yep.
Guys have made really good careers, not just being like basket cutters, but running off of screens and all that sort of stuff. Like you could talk about Klay Thompson and JJ Redick and Rip Hamilton and those guys, but guess what? Those guys are all 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying he's gonna be or has to be that good and that level of that sort of player in order to get there, to get into a rotation. He just has to just put up a 3 every once in a while. And I know that's something the Celtics talked to him after he had a really good game in their second Summer League game. He had 24 points on only 17 shots.
Yep.
He was really good. He was super efficient because he was so efficient around the rim. He literally didn't take a 3.
It was wild to see somebody in the modern NBA be that efficient without taking a 3. Because usually like a 17 points with 24 points on 17 shots, usually that includes at least a few, because that's the best way to get efficient points.
Right, and I know the Celtics talked to him after that game. We're like, dude, put up some threes.
Shoot some threes.
It's okay. Not only are you allowed to take threes, we want you to take 3.
Yeah.
This is a team that is encouraging Marcus Smart, or at least allowing Marcus Smart to put up threes.
Yep.
They're cool with Jabari Bird putting them up when he's open.
Yep.
Like they're fine with that. So I know that's something that the organization wants, and it's something that he, I think, just has to get. At least it seems like he has to get a little more comfortable with it.
Dude, this is an organization that not only allowed but encouraged Aaron Baines to shoot threes for the first time in his career.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Which is still insane to me. It worked.
It's wild.
One of the weirdest 3-point binges in NBA history.
Yeah.
That it just turned on for the postseason.
Absolutely.
Anything else that we got that's particularly important?
All right, let's all go around and pick our. So, Celtics beat writers. Everybody chooses a Summer League player who they think is going to be good prior to Summer League. Now that we're in, besides Jabari, besides Quershon Yabusele, besides Shemi Ojeleye, besides all those guys, guys who probably aren't going to make the roster, who has impressed you? Let's get a.
B-Rob, we're starting with you.
I mean, I was hoping to see a little bit more out of Kadeem Allen.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess I'll put him on my, low stock list there. The kid from, I like Trey Davis.
Yeah.
I won't lie. Former UMass standout. And he hasn't gotten a ton of opportunity, but he just can put up shots like any other point guard out here. He doesn't have the size, but he just brings energy on the floor, and that's someone who's probably not going to be able to play at the NBA level ever, but he should hopefully make some good money overseas for himself, because that's the kind of energy and offense the team's going to need.
Tom, who you got?
Well, Trey Davis is also. I've been really impressed with him too. I like that he. I like that he's like the way he's been passing. He was I talked to him earlier in the summer league session, and he said that he wanted to show that he was more than just a scorer. And I think like the third or fourth possession after he checked in for the first time, he beat a guy off the dribble and just like kicked like across the baseline pass to a guy for a corner three. So I really liked him. I still do not know how to pronounce his name, so this is going to be a Shemi Olajale situation. But Pierre Henry, he's not an NBA player. I don't think he can't really shoot, but he's such a good ball handler, and it's really fun to watch. And he's just so aggressive. He's just a really hard-nosed player, and I really enjoy watching a guy who has some ball handling skills, who get into guys defensively, and who just plays with a real edge. He's really fun to watch. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say Henry.
Yeah.
I could see him, he wouldn't be great for the Spanish league, which is very pace and space.
Right.
But I could see
he was
him
in La Liga previously, so yeah.
Right. I could see him. He's a big point guard. I could see him being good in Turkey or Greece.
Yeah.
And making good money in those leagues. And having a nice career for himself. I like big point guards. Big point guards are, I should say, irregularly sized point guards are more fun. If point guards are either really, really big or insanely small, if they're Junior Robinson.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
It's fun.
He is so fun. If point guards are just not 6'1", they can be extremely fun. I think he defends a little bit. He could make him sound. I don't think he's an NBA player either. I don't think the Celtics have an NBA player other than the top four names on the roster, the two-way guys and the NBA guys. I just don't think they have one at all. But I guess Joel Eddy got a 10-day, so maybe he's the guy we should be talking about a little bit more. Although he's struggled to get time there this summer.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Joel Eddy, he can really. As somebody who considers himself a shooter, I love watching just the ball come off his hands. It's a really good shooter.
All right. So right now we're about to make it to this high school.
We are. You guys want to see you guys want to see the most
all the houses. All the houses are exactly the same.
It's really wild.
It is wild. What is this place?
So this is still Las Vegas, technically.
This is still Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to say goodbye then from Las Vegas. We got anything else?
I don't think so.
Be right. Give me one non-Jabari Bird take.
Knicks are going to be the worst team in the East next year.
Okay, yes, that is the stuff that I want to hear. Finally, we got a good one.
Rob from the backseat.
Finally, we got a good one. Yes, it's such a good place to end. All right, Fred Katz, Tom Westerholm.